Welcome back. I'm excited. Our guest today is the filmmaker behind some of our favorite modern indies like The Witch and The Lighthouse. His new movie, The Viking Revenge Tale, The Northman, hits theaters on April 22nd. Let's take a look. Have you watched any of our show yet today?
Yeah, I saw someone covered in, like, mud.
We told you to keep him in the dark. We're so
A
thrilled.
young woman burping.
Yeah, who was that? Not me. Look, we're so thrilled to have you grace our tiny little show. We both saw your movie, me and Will. Not just because you're here, it honestly was a fantastic film. I think we have a couple questions to ask you about it. I know our time is limited. We maybe have some chat questions.
Yep.
But right off the bat, you mentioned you really weren't into or knew a lot about Viking mythology going into making this movie. How did you, did you have to learn it? Did you consult with someone? How did you end up making an entire movie, an epic movie that is largely based in Viking mythology?
Yeah, I mean, well, by the time I was making the movie, I knew a lot about it.
Sure.
But it was something, I was a kid who got, beat up for wearing costumes to school. I was a sensitive kid, and, macho shit didn't interest me. And then, as an adult, the, right-wing Nazi misappropriation of Viking culture made it so that I was particularly not interested in Vikings.
Interesting.
But when I visited Iceland, the landscapes were so inspiring, I picked up, the Icelandic sagas, which are Viking stories, and then I got into it. And then a couple of years later, I had lunch with Alexander Skarsgård, and we decided to make a Viking movie together, because that's something he's wanted to do since he was a kid. And so anyway, I was working with the finest Viking historians and archaeologists in the field, and we made what I can submit as a fact to be the most historically accurate Viking movie that's ever been made.
Okay, yeah, I just thought you were going to say you read a book. Oh, that's fine.
I was going to say, including the Valkyrie wearing braces, correct?
Yes, the Valkyrie does not wear braces. They've found a lot of Viking skulls that have horizontal grooves carved in their teeth that they think that they might have filled with an enamel or pigment, and we thought it looked cool, and so we gave it to the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Now, it's interesting that you said that macho shit didn't interest you because, when I think of your filmography, I've seen all your movies, I do not think of 80s Schwarzenegger. But you mentioned in a previous interview that Conan was one of the inspirations for this film. I'm a big Schwarzenegger guy. Tell me about it.
Yeah. That's certainly a macho exception.
Right.
I loved Conan as a little kid. I watched it so many times. There are a handful of deliberate nods to Conan in this film.
Wheel of Pain and the Rowing.
Bingo. And then there's a handful of, or more than a handful of accidental nods because I just watched it so many times when I was a kid. So as much as, I'm inspired by Japanese and Soviet art house historical epics, there's a good deal of Conan in this movie.
What do you think Tarkovsky would think of Conan?
I think he would hate it, and he would hate my movie too.
Okay.
There was a scene in this movie that I needed therapy about, and I don't want to spoil it, but it includes Nicole Kidman, who I think is like just one of the best things that we have going. Obviously, you make great movies, and actors are attracted to being in your movies. How did this cast come together? Because honestly, everyone on screen was magnetic and fantastic.
Well, thank you. I mean, honestly, though, some people don't want to work with me. I mean, I've had
who? What's his or her name?
I've had very famous actors say, I think it's gonna be a bit too much for me. Thank you.
Well, at least they're nice about it and they said thank you.
Sure,
yeah, but we can out them if we want.
But Nicole, I mean, obviously she had a good relationship with Alex from Big Little Lies.
Yeah.
But I was nervous to meet with her because it is Nicole Kidman. Yeah. But I flew to Nashville, and I think she sensed after 90 seconds that I might be like a little bit nervous, and she said, "Don't worry, I'm doing the movie."
Oh, great.
She was like, the script has teeth.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Oh, fantastic. Had she known about your work before?
Yeah, she was a big fan of The Lighthouse.
Oh, The Lighthouse. So good. So different, I feel like when people call you an auteur director, does that make you feel weird, or do you agree with it? Yeah. Why?
Well, I feel like I'm, a wannabe. I've only made 3 movies.
Yeah. 3
very
fantastic movies.
But I'm still learning my craft.
Right. Okay.
Thank God.
Yeah. No, you can't.
Spoken like an auteur.
That's exactly what an auteur would say.
It's interesting he mentioned your previous films. One question I want to ask you. Both The Witch and The Lighthouse feel so contained, claustrophobic. I mean, literally, the frame in The Lighthouse feels claustrophobic. But this is such a different film. This is an epic. How does it feel? And why did you go from these more contained projects to something as grand as The Northman?
Well, I wanted to tell a story for a broad audience for the first time. And so that means like a simpler narrative. Well, I mean, The Lighthouse, like, arguably doesn't have a narrative, So I had to have a story that was like a myth that everyone knows. This is based on this Nordic folktale that a certain guy named William Shakespeare read and inspired Hamlet. So by having something that's the Hamlet or the Lion King, like, everybody knows this. So then I can share with audiences interesting stuff about Viking mythology and ritual culture that you might not be able to do on a film this size. So that's what that story enabled me to do.
Yeah, we're showing a little bit of it here. How jacked did Alex Skarsgård have to get for this, or was he pre-jacked?
I said that he would be banished from set if his traps weren't above his ears.
Yeah. we laughed.
Traps?
We thought that's the only thing he did was traps.
His traps are insane.
His traps are insane.
Spoiler, they're the most insane traps I've seen since Bane.
But honestly, dude, also, like, in the final naked sword fight on the volcano, his lats are like popping out.
Yeah.
It's wild.
There was a line in the release that mentioned muscular action, and we were not disappointed.
No, we got muscular action.
We got heaps of it.
This movie made me question my sexuality, my relationship with my mother. One of the themes in this movie that I really seemed to hone in on was resentment and harboring resentment. And I don't know if that's just because of the way I'm a sober guy, and I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life, and I've learned that there's things I have to let go to grow,
Yeah.
And it seems like that was a very clear message to me that, even though something bad happened to you, you can let go of those things, maybe for your own benefit and for your own health, because you can kind of fall in and just repeat the patterns that were done to you.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm trying to show the Viking morality, the Viking mind, the Viking mindset, and and those morals and behaviors and beliefs are not mine, they're not yours, but hopefully you can see how someone would behave that way, and someone who is living in a culture where your fate is your fate and there's nothing you can do about it, and you have to revenge. You can't just say, actually, I'd prefer forgiveness. You would be shamed, and that actually meant something then.
Yeah.
But
that was a better time.
But hopefully, you can you can understand it, and then you can ask yourself like how you feel about that stuff. Like it's not a black and white movie, you know. Something that I liked when I read these sagas is like the hero who the saga would be named after. He could be an outlaw, a psychopath. Like Alex kills people at night in this movie, which is not an okay thing to do.
Yeah, you don't
in
do it
Viking
while they're
culture.
sleeping.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, this movie's so big in scope. I'm sure going from smaller movies to a big epic had its challenges. Can you say kind of, do you think your next movie is going to be that size and scale?
I preferred using a little smaller because I learned so much.
Yeah.
That I feel like I can really nail a slightly smaller movie the next time. But it was awesome. It was just so incredible. I mean, it's not easy, but like working with like hundreds of extras and stuntmen and horses and cows and chickens and geese and kids and mud and blood and spears and javelins. It's, you know.
And Willem
cool.
Dafoe, I'm
And
sure,
Willem
is
Dafoe.
already cast in your next project.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe. Willem will be really.
Tell us something about Willem that we already love him, but can we love him more? Is it possible?
Yeah, Willem Dafoe lives outside of Rome on a farm with tons of dogs and sheep, and he has a black ram named Black Phillip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes!
Like from The Witch?
That is awesome! Yes!
So, yeah, he's a fan, is what you're saying.
He's a friend.
Okay.
Speaking of the films, quickly.
Yeah.
The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman. What's
The Accountant.
What's the next project?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I have to be secretive and elusive, unfortunately. Okay. Respectfully.
Oh, but
Yeah.
yeah, like keep it mysterious.
Yeah.
You know? We do have a question from a member of our Discord.
Okay.
If we can take that. User Suborbital says, they write, IMDb says, you are from Lee, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been to Blink's Frido at Hampton Beach? If so, what's your flavor?
I've been to Hampton Beach, but I have not been to that fried dough place.
All right, let's ban Suborbital.
Sorry.
Sorry, Sub.
That would have been great if I had, but sadly.
Well, look, we're out of time, and what a low point to end.
You did this to us, Suborbital. It was all going so well.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Eggers. You can catch The Northman when it hits theaters April 22nd. And when we're back, Fiona Nova feeds you this week's top stories. Plus, I hit the streets to promote an important cause. Is it actually important? I'll let you guess.